All right, guys, we're in Charleston. We're going over Allie's check-ins. She's full as a house. We're coming for the pro card.
But yeah, she is very, very full. But taking the feedback from the last show, we're trying to make sure that the glutes just don't become overpowering, because at the moment, Allie still needs a bit more upper body to kind of balance that shape. And it sucks because the look is kind of here. It's already there. So we're going to be going to the gym today. Cam was asking, like, how do we prevent her from spilling over? So she's going to do cardio. She's going to train today, and we're going to train upper body so the food she does eat, it kind of like, when you stop training, the muscle, after a couple of days, it looks less inflamed. So when it's inflamed right now, what's going to happen, I don't know why I'm talking with my hands, but it's going to be inflamed, which is actually going to be better for a bikini because they don't want the upper body to be too hard. That was always the problem with Andrea. Her veins would come through. She gets extremely vascular, and that doesn't portray a feminine look. So
what's the problem right now? Problem right now is she's too full.
The problem is that she's where she needs to be.
Okay.
And we need to hold the look.
And we still have more than 24 hours.
So if I give her any more food, then it's going to go the other way.
So what you're going to do is...
So what we're going to do today is we're going to listen to a lot of Whitney Houston. And we're going to... No, she's going to train. She's going to train upper body. Any of the food that she does eat, hopefully it will go to the upper body, because that's where, when you're breaking down tissue, right? The food needs to go to there, help recovery. So she's going to expend that food, deplete a little bit of glycogen, so that way as she's eating throughout the day, it doesn't fill her up more and more and more. That's ultimately the goal. I'm also going to give her a little bit of food reduction here because she's where she needs to be. I got to poop. A chocolate bag. Yes, I did.
Well, what's the hardest thing to do when you're traveling?
This right here.
Food?
You think you have everything and you don't.
Okay.
You never have everything.
So what's the solution?
Fucking be overly prepared.
Okay.
Or, I guess, don't get stressed out when it doesn't go your way, because it's probably not going to, for being realistic. So now we're gonna go find a utensil so I can finally eat my first meal an hour plus after when I was supposed to.
And then train legs.
And then train legs and do cardio. But these collapsible containers were great. Amazon.
Collapse it.
No, I can't, because it's like, it has food in it. It will go everywhere if I do. But you can see the bottoms actually come up. So I brought a bunch of containers so I can prep my meal, so that'll be great.
Let's go train.
Both feet. No. Fine.
Come on, breathe.
Straight off the plane.
feet. Good. Tall. Get up. There we go. Stay right there. Go ahead. 1, 2, 3 to the back. Good. 1, go. Okay, stay right there. All right, take a look at your feet. Tell me if your stance is too wide.
So Nadia actually had it so that like right outside of my shoulders.
Okay. I only say that just because I thought you were compensating, because I saw that you were over. I think you noticed that, and then you were trying to move over to the box.
So she like, it's weird because like she wants me to do that. Like when I step into my back post, she wants me to go out more.
Okay.
So I don't know, I had it at one point where I was doing that and still staying in the box, but recently I feel like I've been like shifting.
Let me see you at shoulder width really quick.
Right.
When you're in your back pose, a cue that someone just gave me was when you're up here. So even when I think about this, because now when I'm setting up like my back pose here and I come up, if I think of putting the weight on my heels,
Yeah, that's something we were working on.
then it tightens my hamstring.
Yeah, I need to, that's like, because I'm in heels, like naturally I go like on my toes more, which I need to not do because...
No, you want to be on your toes.
Oh, you want to be
I want you to be on your toes. Because if I were to be standing here, for instance, right, and I'm going to do my back pose, we're thinking of driving the heels into the ground. So think of like when you're doing a hamstring curl, right?
Yeah.
You don't think of like curling your feet like this. You think of taking your heels and driving them towards your butt, right?
Right,
Like if you're doing a seated or a lying hamstring.
Yeah.
So if I'm here and I'm standing up on my toes like this and I just have my butt back, the hamstring's gonna be softened. But if I'm taking and I put the weight on my heels and not so much on the balls of my feet,
Yeah.
then that hamstring's gonna tighten.
So wait, which one do we
You
want?
want to be on the balls of your feet.
So like, okay.
On your toes. Up on your toes.
So not this, but more of, oh, that's too much.
Yeah, don't
More
do
of,
it. It's not really changing anything in your pose.
Okay.
It's just where you're
Just
putting
where you're
pressure.
Okay, okay.
And yesterday, she had taken the notes from her previous peak, which was to reduce her water to about 100 ounces, fluid ounces, versus 132. And I didn't realize till actually speaking with her. So that's why she actually looked. We'll do a comparison. I'll send Cam the photos to put, but I'll do a side by side of kind of this morning to last night, and she was very, very watery, and that was because in the span of 4 hours, she had. It was something ridiculous, like 40 ounces. And then she tells you she usually wakes up at like 6 and doesn't have 40 ounces till 1:30. So if you do the math, that's over 40 ounces over the course of what, like 8 hours, 7 hours. So she was very, very watery and heavy. And what I was expecting to happen is to flush all that water off that was basically underneath the skin in between the muscle. To kind of flush off, because you could see how much tighter her waist was this morning and everything like that. So now we just need to hold the look. It needs to be slight manipulations just to get the upper body a little bit fuller, but I think some of that will come with just like pumping up and stuff like that. So I'm gonna basically see how much water I need to give her and try and guesstimate. That's really all we can do, is when she'll go on stage. We didn't go to the show yesterday, and I wouldn't even say that males are an indicative of what time she'll go on. So 4 classes, bodybuilding. I don't know if there's physique, maybe, but bodybuilding, physique, figure, wellness, then she's on. So 4 classes before her. Yeah, so bikini's always last. It's always the biggest. Let's go. We're here at pre-judging. It's so funny because it's been 4 years.
4 years. Yeah.
4 years since we were here last time.
And we
That was
went
in
over
COVID.
all together.
Yeah.
What a dream.
It was in COVID year. In November. I think it was like days before my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And then look, there's the dream team right there.
Okay, zoom all the way in.
Now, so pre-judging doesn't start till 9. Bikini. This is actually great. Like, this has been the smoothest. Remember how stressful Nationals morning was?
Yeah.
This has been the smoothest
morning for a national show in a while. I think the last time I was this calm, the morning of a show, was Chicago Pro. But that was because I didn't go on until noon. So same thing, she probably won't go on until like 10:30 or something. She's already got her second coat of tan, hair, makeup's done, she did it herself. We'll see how good or bad it looks.
No.
It's only gonna be good. It's only gonna be good. But yeah, I love this venue. It's such an easy layout. Yeah, so we're gonna take a look at her. I gave her some food, kind of did the math to see how much in terms of ounces that should push it up. If I'm guessing, she should be about 113-ish right now. So we'll tune in and see where that's at.
Start of the show. Hello.
Hey. Remember what we had in this parking lot when we won the overall? I
It wasn't this parking.
It wasn't. We didn't have it here, but we called Justin and we asked if we could have a candy bar, and then we stopped at the next gas station. And what do we have?
What used to be my favorite candy bar, but now I eat so much I don't even like food.
What is it?
Come on.
It's like a fast break, but it has the M&Ms in it.
Reese's Outrageous.
Yeah, but
That's
it's
it.
not an outrageous. It's like a.
It is an.
No, the outrage. No,
It
because
is
there's a it's an
There's a
outrageous.
nutrageous, that's not-
No, the nutrageous has nuts. The outrageous has M&Ms in it, mini
Has
M&Ms.
Reese's Pieces in it. Ah, he got it all wrong. It's okay.
Yo,
That's
listen,
how long
listen.
it's been. It's been 2 years since I've competed. Okay.
If you, when you'll see it, there's like a.
Game time. She looks fucking good.
Thank you, Alexandra. Next up, competitor 154, Victoria Christian.
Face forward and walking back. .159 and 156 switch. And face forward and walking back. .159, 163, 158, and 156. Take a step off stage, but do not go anywhere. Keep those four. Yes.
All right. So prejudging is a wrap. Looking at somewhere in the 4, 5, 6 area. I think it's probably going to be somewhere closer to 5 or 6. I would say that that's competing, but it's a bit more frustrating within bikini. We kind of had this before. We've spoken on it. It's just like the criteria is ever evolving. And then what you think is perfect that day sometimes doesn't end up being perfect. So all you can do is really kind of take the feedback, hope that it's accurate feedback, and then compare yourself to people at the next level as to what, or the people who are getting rewarded. For Allie, it's very apparent that we need to balance the look even more. We were able to streamline it a bit more from where it was at 3 weeks ago, but it's 3 weeks. Her legs are still the best body part that she has, and the upper body needs to come up to match it so that she's not so bottom dominant. And then there's a couple tweaks within posing and things like that that we can see that can be manipulated very, very easy. That doesn't need to take time within growing or an off season or whatever the case may be. It's just like some posing tweaks to make sure that when we're presenting, the muscle is always
hard and contracted versus being relatively soft. So most people at this point would take and just kind of give the client a free-for-all because they're not in the contention for winning. We're going to actually use this to collect data is the next time. So now what I'm going to take is I'm going to push the food up a bit more, give her a bit more water, and we're going to see how much food and water she can handle before that look actually starts to go in the other direction. We told you that earlier she was kind of tight right where we wanted her, which was true. Now I want to see how much I can fill the glutes out without it going in the other direction where it's like they're even more overpowering than they already were. So we're going to use this data for the next time. The good thing is I have all these peaks and everything saved. So I was actually comparing this week to previous peak for girl power, and it was like night and day. She was doing cardio all the way up until the day before the show just to try and pull the legs down. I think her last cardio session for girl power was like Tuesday. So a lot of differences, and I think you should always be tracking those variables to see what's going to ultimately give you the best look, especially with those smaller divisions like bikini or men's physique. There's so many variables that can change, and shifting that look week to week to week to week, because you'll notice those are divisions where the athletes need to compete more and more and get in front of different judges to have, I guess, find the look that works for them, but also find the judge that likes them. So we'll see. I told you we're going to play around with the look a little bit more and see what they think is better. Hopefully they'll actually give her a chance to represent. When she represents, then they'll be able to tell us if they like the look better at finals or pre-judging, if they're actually paying attention at that point, which is always questionable with how long of a day it is. I don't blame them if that's the case. But we'll do side-by-side photos. So right now I'm about to give her another 30 carbs, about another 4 grams of fat there, and some 4 ounces of water. The one thing I do notice is, like with bikini girls, because they're not absolutely peeled, we need to keep the water consistent and in at a decent rate, because otherwise they just go flat. Because you have to think, like, they're not absolutely peeled, they're also not eating a ton of carbs. The more carbs that you eat, the more water that you're going to retain. So then that's when you have to manipulate water quite a bit. Like Cam, for instance, if we had to give him 600 carbs, I think it's 4 grams of glycogen, hold 1 gram of water. Do the math there on what's going to be held. So yeah, right now, I'm a little bit better than earlier, if you couldn't tell. Still not happy with this, but the whole point of coming to the show, we're always coming to win, but ultimately, the first time you step on a national stage or you even come to a national stage, it's a big eye-opener. So I'll say this, Andrea, the first time she did a national show, she got 16th, tied for dead last. The first time I did a national show, I got 11th. She's gonna do better than both of us in her first national show, even though we didn't get here and come here with that intentions. But I guarantee you, when she sees the side-by-side with the girl who's gonna win her class, it's gonna go, okay, you can literally just look at her physique and go, okay, this girl has this, draw some muscle there with a red marker, do the exact same thing all over that, and then hopefully we can make those improvements in whatever that time is allotted. Allie is a natural athlete, so after this, I'll kind of show you what that guy looks like and laying out a timeline and how you don't have as much time as you think. But we'll see what it yields and go from there. So first national show, first call out. Feedback was a little all over the place. I think the common trend that we could take, and babe, you can comment on this, was the look needs to be a little bit more balanced.
That's kind of like what it comes down to, because every judge said something different, but if you like add them up,
yeah,
she just needs balance that she doesn't have.
So it was either grow the upper body or downsize the lower body was kind of what we heard. So it's easier to put on new tissue that will be beneficial at the next level rather than try and downsize her lower body to match her underdeveloped upper body and then get rewarded and then at the next level start all over again. So we're gonna game plan and we'll kind of see what the next step is gonna be, what that's gonna look like, where we're gonna go, how long that time's gonna be away. There's what's perfect on paper, and then there's also athletes being humans. So she has a trip going to Europe for a wedding in like 3 weeks, something like that. And ultimately, we're not going to be able to compete again. So I typically would tell her to go to junior nationals, but we don't have that availability. We also streamlined her look in 3 weeks. I don't think trying to suck her down anymore is actually going to be beneficial. So it's a lot of so's.
Yeah.
Ultimately, yeah, we got to improve. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how long that's going to last. You'll just have to stay updated and stay following the tube, figure out when that's going to happen.